Sean Taylor, University of Miami, the hardest hitter in the draft.
I'm about to get ready to do a deep breakdown on your boy Sean Taylor, arguably one of the greatest NFL safeties of all time, one of the hardest hitting safeties. But I'm about to delve deep into a situation that happened November 27, 2007, when he had got gunned down, you know what I mean, in a burglary, allegedly. And what I want to start off with on this video, which is going to be very deep, y'all, and I want y'all to really pay attention. I'm going to play some clips and I'm going to chime in, but I'm going to really go deep into this whole situation.
Rising star in the NFL is dead, cut down by gunfire less than a day after someone shot him in his own home. Washington Redskins player Sean Taylor died from his injuries early this morning. Eyewitness News reporter Karen Brown has the developing details.
All right, let's get deep into this, because the first thing I want to show right quick is at his funeral, right? Pay attention to the whole Masonic hand gestures with the man on the right and in the glasses. Get what I'm saying? I'm going to delve deep into all of this, y'all. And I want y'all to really pay attention to this, because it's going to be a deep video. Now, his last video, his last game, was against the Eagles. And he actually, Sean Taylor had got shot, I believe, like in the upper thigh. He had got shot and bled to death. You know what I mean? And then the last game he played against the Philadelphia Eagles, where he left the game with an injury. I'm going to play the clip and chime on in. Just pay attention to this.
And block what they were bringing defensively. Plays. It's not really execution or something they can get there.
Delayed the game due to I think a knee injury, if I'm not mistaken. But let's keep this thing rolling. Now, in high school, he played for a school called Gulliver. You get what I'm saying? Out in Florida. And what's so deep about that is, remember I said how he got injured against the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? He played for Gulliver. And what's so deep about that whole thing, it's actually a book called the Gulliver's Travel, right? And it was about a man who was practically going traveling, doing adventures, and he is like waking up by the sea and everything, and he'd be going through different, you know, like different aspects of like delusions. But basically Gulliver, which is so deep, is on one of the chapters of the book. He actually was visiting somewhere seaside. It was, I forgot it was a place name. I think it was Brobdingnag, if I'm not mistaken. But basically he was visiting seaside, and he was traveling in his traveling box. And what happened was the eagle seized the box and carried him away. I'm about to delve deep into this, y'all. About it too is Gulliver was bruised by a hailstorm so bad that he couldn't walk for 10 days. You know what I mean? And then what happened, what got me thinking, is how Sean Taylor played for the Miami Hurricane, hence the whole aspect of the storm. I'm about to take this deep tonight. Now, going back to the whole aspect of Sean Taylor playing against the Eagle, remember I was talking about the Eagle, what it did, actually it had dropped it had dropped Gulliver off in the Gulliver. Remember how I said he wore the Gulliver's jersey in high school? And what's so deep about that, the Eagle had dropped the Gulliver off in the Gulliver's Travel book. It had dropped him off because it thought that it could eat the box, but it saw the box wasn't edible, so it just dropped it off in the sea. But let's keep this thing rolling. The other thing that got me too is how Sean Taylor, he was born April 1st, but he had died November 27th. He was 24 years old. And when you do the days between April 1st and November 27th, it's literally 240 days, aka 24. You get where I'm going with this? This stuff is so deep, y'all. It's crazy. And the whole aspect of the November 27th ritual that happened, which is so deep because November 27th is the time of the Sagittarius. And remember I said he had got shot in the leg. And you know, when you understand the Sagittarius represent like the strength of the leg, so you can do archery, like basically doing the bow and arrows work. You get where I'm going with this? I'm about to take this deep, y'all, because what I noticed too, which is so crazy, and when remember I say he played for Gulliver in high school, which is so crazy because the Gulliver's logo is the G. And what happened too, because Sean Taylor's father was a chief police out in Miami. And when you understand that whole aspect of being like the chiefs, lieutenants, and all of that, you are Masonic tied. They're Masons. Hint the whole G aspect with his school. And what got me thinking about that is because when Sean Taylor, remember I say he played for Gulliver in high school. Show you one more time right quick. When you pay attention to that, remember he got shot in the leg. Now in the book with the Gulliver's Travel, what happened was Gulliver was basically he had chains around his left leg, which is so crazy because the horses dragged him for half a mile, and he had chains around his left leg when they was trying to basically judge him in the book, if I'm not mistaken. But what's so deep is because Sean Taylor had a situation where he spit in Michael Pittman's face. It was a football player who played for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And when you understand Tampa Bay, which is so deep because the book Gulliver's Travels, they used he used the boat. And when you know about, like I just said about Michael Pittman, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is called what? They're called like the Pirates. And notice how you have the skull and bones, aka skull and bones, the 322 aspect of the Masonic fraternity, the Brotherhood of Death. You get where I'm going with this. But when you keep this thing rolling, how I said how in the book Gulliver was dragged by the legs by horses. This is gonna trip y'all out right quick. He spit in Michael Pittman, senior. His son played for the Indianapolis Colts. I think he plays for the Indianapolis Colts right now. Pay attention to that whole aspect with the Colt, aka the horse. Do you get where I'm going with this? This stuff is that deep. And what tripped me out too is how Sean Taylor had died in 2007. And what got me going about that is because 2007, he had died in Miami. In Miami, 2007, the year of his death, the Super Bowl was in Miami, y'all. You get what I'm saying? It was literally played out in Miami, in the Miami Gardens at the Dolphin Stadium. And the whole book of, remember how I said dude played for Gulliver, which is so deep because that whole book was about basically a man going through adventures and delusions. He'd start out at home and then he'd travel, go everywhere, go through the delusions and the fantasies, and he'd always end up back home. You get where I'm going with this? Sean Taylor was born in Miami and died in Miami. Hit that whole aspect of going home, leaving, departing from home, and always ending back at home. You get where I'm going with this, but I'm going to take it real deep in a minute on y'all because, like, I was going back right quick to the guy whose face he spit in and he got fined for, which is crazy because when he spit in his face, the guy, Michael Pittman Sr., he played for Arizona Cardinals when he got drafted. You get where I'm going with this? And when you go to the year after Sean Taylor dies, he died in 2007. The year after that, 2008, the Super Bowl was in Arizona, where Michael Pittman got spit. The guy he spit in his face. That's where the Super Bowl was at. It was in Phoenix, Arizona, which is a team Michael Pittman got drafted by. Come on, y'all. Let me show this right quick because I'm about to delve deep into this.
What you doing?
This is when he spit in Pittman's face.
In my face!
Now look at, like I said, Tampa Bay was the team that he was going against at the time. That's when he got fined for $17,000 when they punished him for it. And what's so deep, because like I said, he played for Gulliver. I'm about to delve deep into this. He played for Gulliver. And when you understand in the book of Gulliver, the Gulliver's Travels, he had got punished by the governments for trying to put out fire in the palace. And they basically said that that they had wanted to do is they wanted to put something in his eye and stuff like that. It's so deep because I'm going to get deep into this, y'all. Because when you understand Tampa Bay literally means what? The Bay of Fire. That's all Tampa Bay means is Bay of Fire. It's so deep because hint the whole aspect of the fire aspect. You get where I'm going with this, but I'm about to take this even further. Let's keep it rolling. And that was 2006. He spit in Pittman's face. Now, the last game of the season, the day before he died, was against the Buccaneers, and they lost 13-19. The team he played for, Redskins, their score was 13, and it was the last game before he died. It was against the Buccaneers. And I'm about to take it even deeper than that, because the game after his death, which is week 13, remember I said they had a score of 13 in the game before he dies. Week 13, they lose 16-17 to Buffalo, to the Bills. Now, when you understand 16 plus 17, it equals what? 33, aka the 33 degrees of Freemasonry. Do you get where I'm going with this? The 33 degrees of the Illuminati pyramid. About it, remember I said that they lost 16-17. The Redskins lost 16-17 the day after Sean Taylor died, like the week 13. And what's so deep about that is because when you understand that whole aspect, which is so deep, is because they lost to the Bills. Now, you already know the Buffalo was the way that the Indians survived. And you remember the law was kill every buffalo you can. Every dead buffalo is an Indian gone. This is why that year in 2007, notice that the Buffalo Bills beat Washington Redskins, and then they beat the Miami Dolphins, right? But what's so deep about that is because the Redskins, remember that was the team he played for, representing the Indian. Then the Miami Dolphin, they beat them. Remember, he died in Miami. You get what I'm saying? Born in Miami, died Miami. And then what's so deep is how they lost 3 games in a row after that. They didn't make the playoffs. But going into that, notice how you kill a buffalo, because the Buffalo Bills didn't make the playoffs. So every dead buffalo is an Indian gone. Notice Washington Redskins, they ended up making the playoffs that year. Remember that. But they lost to Seattle Seahawks. This stuff goes that deep, y'all. It goes this deep for real. And what's so crazy about that is one of the plays, the Seattle Seahawks who they played against, his name was Josh Brown. And they had did some plays where they went for like 33 yards for 5 plays. It was something like that. They went up for 10-0. You get what I'm saying? It's deep stuff, y'all. Hint to 33 again. Come on, y'all. Hint, Seattle had 3 in the second quarter and 3 in the third quarter. That's 33. Come on now. Because actually back in 2004, the year he got drafted, and he actually got in trouble in that time too, because they had said something about him doing something at a party, and they said that he stole or did some type of something against, like, with domestic violence. That's what it was. But going back to the 13, that year he had 13 starts. Come on, y'all. His draft year in 2004, he had 13 starts. Remember I said he died at 24, and he was drafted 2004. And you take away the zeros, it's what? 24. Come on, y'all. Let's keep this thing rolling. I'm about to take it deep tonight. Go back to the Gulliver aspect too, about the treason, about putting out the fire with his urine. And it was like in the Gulliver's Travels, so they condemned him to be shot in the eyes and starved to death, but he escaped and set sail for his home. You get where I'm going? And hint, like I said, how that was 2006, and then Sean Taylor died 2007. 2006 he spit in the face of the pitman, and then 2007 he died at home. You get where I'm going? It's the same thing as the Gulliver's Travels. Let's keep this thing rolling, y'all. What is so deep is that Sean Taylor, he had dated his girlfriend since high school, who was her name is Jackie Garcia. Now, when you're familiar with Andy Garcia, that's his niece, the actor Andy Garcia. If you're familiar, I don't know if maybe y'all not really familiar. Like, a lot of people heard of him. You know what I mean? He played on The Godfather, Ocean's 11, all of those movies. And a movie back in the day was actually called Black Rain. And what I really want to highlight on is because, remember, Sean Taylor had 4 people enter his house. I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but I'm going to play the scene right quick from Charlie's Rain, which is when Andy Garcia gets killed. I'm going to play a scene and I'm going to chime on in.
Good, Charlie.
Fuck me.
Good move,
Hey! Hey!
See that spit right there? Let's keep this thing rolling. Remember, I was just talking about how Sean Taylor spit in Michael Pittman's face. You see the dude spits on the ground, right? Let's keep this thing rolling.
You see that? Hey, don't get fucking personal, all right? Hey, fuck you! Hey! Hey, Charlie! Fuck.
Let's go.
Get out of there!
Look at this, y'all. Are they cutting him? Look at all the men coming at him. Look at this. Look at that. The spit. He spit right there too. You saw that, right? Let's keep it rolling. Look at that, y'all. Let's keep this thing rolling. Let's keep it rolling because this stuff gets that deep, and it's crazy how everything is already scripted to happen the way it's meant to happen. This thing rolling because that movie, Black Rain, with Andy Garcia just got killed on. That movie came out in 1989. Andy Garcia at the time was 33 years old, y'all. And remember, I said at the game, that last game after Sean Taylor's death, the score was 17-16, which equals 33. But yeah, during the time of that Black Rain movie, Andy Garcia was 33 years old at the time, and Sean Taylor was like what, 6 years old, 6 years old. Yeah, because he was born in Sean Taylor was born in 83. So yeah, he was 6 years old, and Andy Garcia at the time was 33 years old. But let's keep this thing rolling. This is Andy Garcia on a movie called Oceans. I think this is 13 right here. But pay attention to how he enjoyed people dying. Let's watch it.
Yes.
You see this? Let's keep this thing rolling like this. This stuff gets deep, y'all. Let's keep it rolling. This is one of the killers. This guy right here, his name, I believe this is the guy, because I know one of the guys' name was Charles. And remember on that movie Black Rain, Andy Garcia, who was Sean Taylor's girlfriend's uncle, you know, his name was Charlie on the movie that he had got killed in 89 when I say he was 33 and Sean Taylor was 6. But notice how they picking this guy up already. He already got on an RIP shirt. Come on, y'all. Let's keep this thing rolling. Yeah, that one name was Eric Rivera, the one I just showed you. And then the one of the guys who killed him name was Charles. I remember I said on Black Rain, Andy Garcia was Charlie. You get what I'm saying? Come on, y'all. There's no way around it. See, he was Charlie. Like, this stuff is deep, man. Notice the Masonic hand gestures and the white and the blue for nothing but masonry. Do you get where I'm going with this? This stuff is deep stuff, y'all. And I've been talking about this for a while now. So blue for Freemasonry. Let's keep it rolling. Because this stuff is deep. Because pay attention to that.
Inmates say they noticed a real turnaround following the birth of his daughter last year. Now family, friends, and fans are left to remember Taylor as a huge talent who loved the game.
Let's keep it rolling.
You know,
2006 Pro Bowl, the NFL's All-Star Game.
he was a good hitter and everything else, you know, but now, you know, he's gone.
He was just shining. He just started to shine.
And what happened too, when he had got shot and killed, they said that he had got shot and he was trying to grab a machete. And what happened was they came in the house and shot him in the leg. And, you know, the baby was in the crib, and the girlfriend was hiding, but didn't get hurt. Only he got killed. It's just so crazy. You know what I mean? I'm actually going to keep it going a little bit before I conclude this whole thing.
About how he brought this on himself. Just weeks before, there had been a birthday party at Taylor's house for his sister, and it was her friends from Fort Myers who had come to clean the pool deck.
Right.
Sean Taylor had paid one of the guys who ended up being involved in this $300.
You see this?
Other guys had got access to the house. They saw how generous he was with his money. He gave bags of money to his sister and brother in front of his friends, and it was that generosity.
Just listen to this. Come on, y'all. Come on. And what's so deep, too, is how I said how dude had died April 1st. I mean, he was born April 1st and he had died November 27th. When you understand the aspect of that, which is so deep, because the April 1st, aka the Fool, you know what I mean? But the April 1st represents the Ram, aka the Aries. And when you know about November 27th, that's the Sagittarius, which is nothing but basically Jupiter. But when you understand that in that old mythologies and just in in rituals, they used to sacrifice the ram to Jupiter. Hence why he was, like I said, he was a Aries, which is the ram, and then he died during the time of Sagittarius, which is Jupiter. And notice how the ram used to get sacrificed to Jupiter. Like this whole dude's whole life was like scripted. Everything that they do, it literally just plays the whole role, y'all. The whole aspect of the Gulliver, and then the Gulliver Travels book, y'all. Come on, like how he started out at Gulliver High School, and then you have the Gulliver's Travels, the book. Come on, y'all. There's just no way around it. You know what I mean? But I'm actually going to end that right here. I just really want to just cover him and just get that whole, get some truth out on this whole situation. But thank you for watching Hide and Seek TV. Much more is coming. Peace.